This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing on. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone listening. This is the Report of the Week here, and we're now on the air. So, welcome to another show, another episode of VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. When is this being recorded? It is being recorded Saturday, August the 9th, 2014, the time being 2:53 a.m. Eastern Time. Yes, my friends, this is being recorded a day before. I shall not lie, it is. So, I felt it necessary. Well, not necessary, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to record the show day in advance. Why? Well, I just wanted to get a step up, per se. Because tomorrow, a few things will be going on. Are you finally leaving the house? No. But a few things will be going on, and I was just worried, maybe I may not have the time to really do a full show, or at least I might be somewhat distracted. So, in short, we're going to be having some folks over, so, I didn't want to really put myself on the spot, so we're doing it a day early, but we have done so in the past, and there has not been mass controversy. So, I hope there will be none now. So, it's my Friday. For you, it's late Saturday, early Sunday, I suppose. But it was my Friday. Well, how are you all doing? I hope you all are well. I hope you had a good week. A fine week. A dandy week. Remember, if your week wasn't any good, it'll get better. It'll get better. It will. Well, my week, I think I accurately said it in every other show. Nothing much happened. We just stuck with the usual routine, and that was that. Was today any different? I woke up today, somewhat early. I woke up today at 2:45. That is early for me. But I woke up at 2:45. I guess my 10-hour sleeps have finally gotten to me. But I woke up at 2:45, and it was alright. Was on the computer for a bit. And did a few things. I didn't eat dinner. I went for a long walk. And then I had my meal actually somewhat recently. I finally got to reviewing that DiGiorno make-your-own pizza kit. Finally reviewed it. This review is actually going to be a 3-part review. What do you mean by a 3-part review? It's going to be 3 separate videos, all edited into one long video. It's going to be about 14 minutes long, which I don't think too many people will be complaining. Sure, a few people will be saying to themselves, why is it so long? But, well, then they shouldn't be watching it. The first part of the review, I came on and I talked about the pizza. The second part, because I reviewed the DiGiorno do-it-yourself pizza. So, with that in mind, the pizza is really just a blank, well, not a blank, but and pardon me for saying this, but a nude cheese pizza, and no toppings in that aspect. Just some sauce and just some cheese, but nothing more. And then in all these little pouches, right, and all these little almost baggies connected in this circle, it's a very interesting design, are all the toppings you could put on. There was some pepperoni, there was sausage, extra cheese, I think it was mozzarella cheese. There was pizza seasoning, onions and peppers. I think that might have been it. Either way, the second part of the review, I was actually in the kitchen holding the camera and actually assembled the pizza with some difficulties, and you'll see that even though it thawed a little bit, some of the pepperoni and the cheese was stuck together, but we made do with what we had, and we finally organized it into a pizza. We cooked it up, and then the final part was like a conventional review where we consumed the pizza. So I hope you enjoy that. It's of course not going to be up until next week. And I watched a documentary about North Korea and read a few articles about their news services. And then I listened to the Voice of America for a bit, their music mix. And now here we are. I thought, you know what, let's do a VORW show, and here we are. But yeah, I'm going with my gray and white pinstripe double-breasted suit. I think it's a good suit. I like it. Not only do I like the style, but it's a comfortable suit. Still wearing it now at 3 a.m. Jacket still on and fully buttoned. With my tie, have not loosened anything. And I figure I won't appear indecent even, you know, when I'm just doing these lectures, I won't. At least, well, maybe I could loosen the tie, but I don't, because then when I hear it or someone says something about that, I could think, oh yeah, that's when I was just wearing a, you know, whatever. I figure absolutely not. Besides, my clothing, while traditional, I also factor in comfort. So these suits are, you know, quite comfortable. It's one of the reasons why I actually do wear them, because they're comfortable garments, in my opinion. But anyway, what's our drink tonight? We're going with Monster Energy and a glass of water. Okay, well, yeah, pizza. That's my main diet. Pizza, 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 or pizza, in the wise words of Dr. Steve Brule. Pizza. You could tell I'm at a loss of topics because I'm doing this, you know, literally over 24 hours after, you know, recording the other one. So normally I give myself a full day, you know, to think and whatever. Then my mind is full of new thoughts and what have you. But today is a little different. But it doesn't bother me. It doesn't. There goes the Voice of America, signing off, with Yankee Doodle playing. Oh, that's because it's 3 a.m. But anyways. Well, let's get to fan mail. We don't have a lot to read either, because I pretty much cut out an entire day's worth of fan mail. So maybe I'm cursing myself for the next one, but, oh well. Let's read some fan mail. And we'll even have time to respond to all the stuff going on in the subreddit, which I feel we've neglected as of late. And there goes the Voice of America. I wanted to listen to the Voice of Nigeria tonight, because, you know, you heard what's going on over there with all the Ebola and what have you. So I figured, you know, in a time of crisis, especially in Nigeria, you know, what's better than to listen to them? But if you listen, they sound absolutely awful. That's what they sound like every other day, too, with that high-pitched whine, almost like a mosquito, you know, flying around. But, yeah, so I figured, yeah, I'm not listening to that. Well, I mean, I could put up with it, and, you know, maybe tomorrow night I record an hour of their English service, but, tonight I said, no, forget it. Absolutely forget it. So, anyways, on to the fan mail. Okay. Let's see where we started from. Alright, here we are. I just thought I'd give you a little positive reinforcement in saying that I've noticed that your VORW series seems to have found a real stride to it. You're getting much better. Filling an hour with uninterrupted material is not as easy as people think it is. Once again, I'd like to hear more. One thing I'd like to hear more of is your opinions. Perhaps you could discuss current events and expound your thoughts a bit on them. Just a suggestion. And keep up the good work. Well, thank you. You know, I have been thinking about talking a little more about current events, but the thing is that, you know, with current events, there's always two sides almost to every story. And I'm not saying that applies to only current events, but a lot of the time people focus specifically on current events. For instance, we could talk about the whole, some people are calling it now a war or a crisis in Ukraine, in eastern Ukraine, that's still been going on. On one hand, you could say, good for the Ukrainian government. They ought to, kick these rebels out and, make sure they, arrest or kill every last one of them. You could stay on that side. Or you could say, Russia needs to go in there and invade Ukraine and, all that. So there's always two sides to each story. The same thing with now going on with ISIS, or now they call themselves the Islamic State, with the U.S. airstrikes there. You could say, absolutely, we should have been doing this sooner, or you could say, why are we doing this? Who cares about them? So there's always two sides to every story. And I always try to be as neutral and unbiased as possible with this. And unfortunately, maybe it's good that I have comments enabled if I started discussing current events, is that it would lead to arguments. Obviously, people wouldn't be able to do that here on my channel, maybe on other places, or they might try to take the argument to me, and they might say, what the hell's wrong with you for thinking this or that? So, if anything, I just try to be the unbiased newsman, right? But sometimes, for instance, with the fire challenge thing, I just gotta speak my mind. I have to. Hello again. Thank you for taking the time to read my previous message regarding religion a few episodes ago. It's perfectly understandable that you would choose to keep this information private, so I can't hold it against you. Regarding the fire challenge, I highly doubt that anyone in the audience would be idiotic enough to even attempt it. In my opinion, the community of your fans is too mature and intelligent to attempt something like this. Keep up the great work and don't let the harsh criticism you regularly face impact your videos, as you have many genuine fans out there. Regards. Well, thank you. No, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I just, sometimes I get worked up and I assume the worst in everyone. But, no, you're right, my group of fans, at least our VORW listeners, seem to be a mature and respectable bunch. Of course, mostly it's the people who watch the energy, not the energy drink, I'm talking about like the regular reviews. The people who watch those, and I'm not saying anything bad about them, but they're the people who usually give me a problem with something. Because, let's face it, alright? Someone who stumbles in from, some forum because someone posted an insulting link, about me, or posted, my apologies there, posted an insulting thread about me, right? The individual who stumbles in and finds my channel and starts watching them, because someone made an insulting thread about me, chances are this person's not going to sit down for 50 minutes and listen to one of my lectures. I mean, let's face it, that's the truth. So, I mean, it's those people that'll mostly, give me a hard time. But no, you're right. At least the VORW group is a respectable group. They all are. Well, I was so happy to hear you're a fan of Check It Out. Have you seen Season 3 yet? If not, here's a link to every episode on Adult Swim. I'm definitely going to watch that. I am, because I haven't seen Season 3. I've seen Seasons 1 and 2. Are you a fan of Tim and Eric's other work? Tom Goes to the Mayor and Awesome Show? I've seen Awesome Show. I have seen that. Great job. Great job. Also worth watching. And then he linked me to the site. It's adultswim.com. I'll definitely watch it. Speaking of YouTube videos, I've been watching this one gentleman who I forgot about and rediscovered this year. Sometimes it happens with people saying about my channel, they forget about my videos and then they come back a year later after they're reminded of it somehow. This happened with someone's channel. This is one gentleman on YouTube who goes by the name online of Attacking Toucans. That's one word. Attacking Toucans. And he does gaming videos where he'll play a video game of some sort. Sometimes, mostly him. older, and I don't mean like 80s games. I'm talking about the games that I grew up with, and maybe some of you grew up with also. Some of the original Zelda games and what have you, and games that at least I like. And he'll play them usually the whole way through and give commentary. And I don't know, for some reason I find his videos captivating. Now, understand that while I do a show where I don't swear or try to keep the innuendo at a minimum, this guy's videos, he lets it all out. And I don't know, I like his commentary. I find it captivating. So I've been watching a lot of his videos lately. I plan on watching his Legend of Zelda Wind Waker series next. It's about 75 episodes, each one about 20 minutes long, so it's going to take a while to finish. But I plan on watching it. And I don't really talk about video games that much, but I did have a Nintendo GameCube when I was younger. I played all those games, but I actually used the GameCube so much it broke. But many years ago we got the Nintendo Wii, but I really haven't played many games on it. But I hope one day to break it out and get the strength to break it out and set up the GameCube games it's compatible with them and start playing again. But that day has yet to come. But a little bit of side information on that, since we have time. There's not a lot of fan mail at all. I know I lied last time, but there really isn't. We already just have 5 letters left, and they're not even that long. Well, anyway, my dear friend over here with those always interesting letters, he got the time to write to me. My dear review bra, I fear that your shin bones might be in danger. I was in the supermarket, and a blood orange warned me that someone would take a tire iron to your left one. Take heed. Oh my goodness. The chunky man is afraid of salt, but remember that when in a tight spot, he can liquefy himself into a gooey substance that has been recorded in the past as faster than a land crocodile. These dangers are as real and serious as rogue sawdust. Oh yeah, that rogue sawdust. I mean, that stuff is real dangerous. Do you ever eat chocolate? Egg? Well, I eat chocolate on occasion. I haven't lately. I actually haven't, probably really significantly, probably in about 8 months. Maybe longer. But I used to. It was always nice to delve into a chocolate bar. The last time I actually had any chocolate, for that matter, was pretty much in Hawaii, where I actually went to a vending machine and I bought a Hershey's bar. Before that, though, the last time I've had real chocolate, I'd say, was probably last summer, where I would usually go through a Dove bar, maybe every couple of days. But nowadays, I'm just not a fan of chocolate. I figure there's better. Well, it's not better. Everyone loves chocolate, but an egg? I mean, chocolate eggs? What are you talking about? Well, I'm healed now. Got a new orca skin. I'm much happier now in my bath, which is constantly filled with brine that I play in enthusiastically. I credit this with my accelerated healing. Would you like tips on also becoming an orca or another animal/plant of your choice? Fan of the cinema? In the dark, slugs can wander without fear. Oh yeah, I'd love tips to become an orca. Absolutely. Or if I had to pick another animal, I would have to go with how to become a blue jay. One of our avian friends out there. Of postscript. A lance made of bone is a meal for 5. A meal for 5, not a meal for 4, nor 3, nor 6. A meal for 5. Postscript. When Amazon start using drones, I will hire one to lob a meat pie at you as a cheeky joke. I know you will see this as harmless horseplay. The pie will be soft and shardless. So that's good to know. That's a relief. I was kind of worried. Could there maybe be some sort of acid in there or shards of metal? Dear Report of the Week, I just saw your latest VORW and I cannot agree more with what you said about the fire challenge. Those people are idiots. Even Frankenstein's monster knows fire bad. If you want to be warm, people, just put on a sweater, you dingus. For your health. Good line from, check it out. Sincerely, Nick. P.S. I enjoy seeing you in a fedora. As you are the only one these days that can wear it properly like a true gentleman. What most people fail to see is that neckbeards do wear fedoras, but they ruin it by wearing a Sonic the Hedgehog t-shirt or whatever children's shirt they decide to dress up in. Well, that is true. It's all about the attire. I mean, some people, who knows? Maybe they just think as soon as I put on the fedora, I look magical or whatever, but they wear it with like some t-shirt and jeans, and it just doesn't work. The fedora hat, even the trilby. I mean, pretty much the same thing. Everyone calls a trilby hat a fedora, but they're pretty much the same thing nowadays in 2014. Both of them, used to be when they were developed and when they were worn. The fedoras. They came about in like the 1890s. Maybe even earlier than that, possibly way earlier, but at least I'd say the 1890s. And they were all developed as formal hats. They were worn with what men wore in the period, and that was full suits. It was worn, for over 50 years, with full suits, and then it died out, and, in the 70s, 80s, and even 90s, it was worn, mostly by, older people who had been wearing fedoras, their entire life and, didn't adapt to, modern trends. And it kind of went away in the 2000s. And then in the 2010s, in the early 2010s, like, 2009, 2010, so many people were convinced that the fedora would actually come back, for good. And then all of a sudden in 2012, the neckbeards come and that sets that back an entire generation, Yeah, so, what are you going to do? They make a mockery out of that piece of headwear. And, what are you going to do? There's nothing you could do about it. You let them wear the hat. And then a new generation will come in and they'll have the spotlight. And, what do they do with the hat? Well, who knows? You really can't predict what the next generation will do. The kids right now growing up who are born, in, let's just say 2007, right? We're 7 years old now. What are they going to be, in 10 years? Or 15 years? How are they going to change the world? Who knows? You just don't know, 10 years ago, did people expect, the world to be as it was now? This internet, really, centered world. I don't think so. So how's the next generation of people going to affect things? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll have an appreciation for suits, right? And they'll all dress well. Or maybe they'll all dress like in the movie Her, right? Where, even if you've seen the movie Her, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the recent movie where the guy falls in love with his phone, pretty much. Even if people dress like that in the 2020s, I don't have a problem with that. Sure, no one's wearing suits, but at least they're wearing, dress pants and dress shirts, pretty much on a casual basis. And the pants are more of like a 1940s style. So, I don't have any problems with that. Who knows how people will dress or act in the future, but regardless, it's a subtle change and you won't even notice. If you notice, I'm really taking my time on this fan mail because we've got 3 left and we've got 20 minutes to kill, pretty much. So I'm really answering these to the very fullest. So hope that's alright. For those of you who sent me in letters, well, you're getting maximum airtime and, Be proud, right? Anyway. Dear viewer, I too am addicted to caffeine, but my intake comes from iced black coffee, with a shot of espresso added. Yes, I'm all too aware of those powerful bad headaches when I go without it for too long, yeah. The reason I'm writing is because in VORW show 43, you made the comment that, for you, appearance is meaningless. If that is truly the case, are you up for a challenge/dare? How about you show yourself on camera, even only for a few seconds, wearing jeans and a t-shirt with no product in your hair? I know, the sun may go black, but just imagine the pure joy it will bring all of your minions, of which I am one. I'm sure you won't do this, but hey, I had to try. Take care, hope all is well, and looking forward to future videos. P.S. How in the world do I find this Shada Brushadi prank call? Oh, I'll link you to that. I'll respond to it there. Well, yeah, appearance is meaningless, and trust me, you're not the first person in the world to to bring that up. Appearing on camera without any product. People have been telling me that literally since 2011. No joke. Had to take a sip of beverage. I don't know, I got a little frog, right? An actual physical frog. A frog in my throat. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Keep calm and carry on. But, people have been telling me to actually do that since 2011. I've thought about it. I ought to do it one day. Maybe I'll do it at the end of the month, right? Welcome in September with that. You should see my hair, though, when there's nothing in it. You know, you picture, right, this, my hair as it is right now. I'm looking at myself in the mirror here. If you didn't know, actually, in the room right here, I record these right now. There's actually two places where I could record these shows, where I have the setup and everything. I could record these up here. I'm just at the desk, table where I film the reviews, because I got the computer and I could look at the fan mail and what have you. And I could take the microphone with me and pace around the long table here. And on the wall, there's actually a little mirror there, so I could look at myself in the mirror. Straighten up the tie. There's a second place, actually, a room on the other side of the residence. There isn't a computer there, but it's a nice, quiet place to do it if there's ever, people over. Or then it would just be disrespectful to disappear for an hour and record a show. But if there's anything going on or if conditions aren't satisfactory, I could always make it there. Or if I really feel the need to yell about something, I guess it's more soundproofed. But anyway, where was I? My hair. I'm looking in this little mirror on the wall at my hair. And it's neat. It's well combed. It's slick and shiny. It's pressed down. Could you imagine what my hair looks like with no product in it? Oh, it's something. Your jaw would drop, I swear. My hair, well, it's always a darker color. My hair becomes, I'd say, a solid, 3 shades lighter, and at least 6 to 7 times puffier. I mean, it looks idiotic. It looks so absolutely absurd and unprofessional. I mean, it's, well, I guess it's something to see, right? Maybe to start off September, right? Because no one likes September, right? Nobody likes the month of September, I'll tell you that. September is nearly everyone's unfavorite month, least favorite month. Even if you're just going to work, especially, of course, those going to school, right, of any sort. But nobody likes September. Also, it's the end of summer, right? Nobody likes September. So maybe to start off September, maybe I'll do a video or something where I'll just be casual. The only problem is that I don't have any casual wear. I don't have any jeans. I just have a pair of sweatpants for sleeping. I don't have any t-shirts, really. I mean, I have white, undershirts. I have a solid black t-shirt, so maybe that'll do. But that's it. Everything else are dress shirts, pretty much. Or collared shirts for work. So maybe I'll do it, though, to welcome in September, hopefully on a more lighter note. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe, no guarantees. Listen, don't take my word on it and then get all mad at me if that doesn't happen. But, it's on the drawing board, right? But, once again, my friend, I shall link you to that prank call. Yo, Holmes. I was wondering how you don't end up getting mad fat. You got yourself a murderous metabolic system, my good man. Love the reviews, as always. XOXOXOX. Well, thank you. I suppose it's the metabolics. But also, mind you, and I know all of you, who always listen, I'm sure you know my diet inside and out. When we focus, maybe I should revolutionize it, right? Maybe I should revolutionize this diet, and maybe I should somehow copyright it and then sell it and make an infomercial to go on TV channels at 4 a.m. where I could say, you want to eat a delicious, fattening meal every single day? Well, follow my diet and blah, 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 right? Because you can. At least I can. How do you do it? Well, number one, you got to train yourself. If you're used to eating 3 massive meals a day, you're going to hate this. But I'm fine with it. And before you say anything, stop doing this to yourself. I'm perfectly fine. I haven't lost any weight. I've remained pretty much at a, average weight. What do? You pretty much limit yourself. You have snacks during the day, and then you have a big fattening meal. And then that's your meal for the day. You get an inordinate meal, and you keep that going the day. I just ate a whole pizza here, and I'm fine now. It's going to keep me going. You know what I do on Saturdays? Well, I eat the pizza first, and then the sides later. And also it's metabolics, of course. I can't argue. I can't try to hide anything. Of course, it's a metabolic system. It's really, if the problem with gaining weight is not having a pizza, every now and then. Even every day, it's not a problem. It's if you eat a pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with large fries as dessert, and a full bucket of KFC as brunch. That's where the problem comes in with weight gain. Otherwise, it's not an inordinate issue. Could you really imagine me, though, as being, enormously obese? Can you? Can you picture me as, morbidly obese? I can't. I really, seriously can't. Can you picture me as, morbidly obese? That's actually something to think about, because I'm getting a kick even trying to picture that. Well. I'm chuckling to myself, trying to picture this fat report of the week right here. Hey, Rep Bra, just wondering if you could be open to uploading your VORWs to Bandcamp or a similar website. I am sure many others, I'm sure, would appreciate the ability to download and listen to your lectures on the go without having to use any sort of gross third-party website. Cheers from another loyal fan. Well, thank you. I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I'll see. Maybe I should. Maybe it's a thing to do. But it would certainly make it convenient. I mean, I'm sure there's a plethora of third-party sites you could simply download the videos, and you would be fine, really, with that. But we'll see. You know what? I'll think about it, at least. I'm not sure I'll think about it. Anyway, we're done with fan mail. We only read, normally there's 20 messages we get, and I still find time to talk about them all, but today we just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. Just 8. Normally we'd be getting, 8 tomorrow. And we will. No doubt about it. But, I know, that's that. I'll dedicate the time to talk about it in the next VORW, read the fan mail. Maybe I'll cut the introduction a little short, maybe we won't, we'll see. We can make time, right? We don't have to limit this to specifically an hour, though it's, I guess, makes things nicer, you know. To pace yourself, that's always important, to pace yourself. Yeah, well. Alright, we could think about it. We could consider it. Bet we can do. We got the power to do that. 35 minutes in. Yep. 3:28 a.m. Now I think after I'm done recording this, I think I'm going to step outside and take a good breath of fresh air. Step outside, you know, gaze up, the clear sky. Still clear, stars are out. It's 58 degrees, so just step outside and get a nice full breath of the nice, cool night air. Right? It's always nice. Always nice. And I think I'll, well, what do I do next? I think I'll read a little bit. Maybe read the last lecture still. Didn't get a chance to read that the past couple of days, but I think I'll continue reading that, and I'll listen to the mighty KBC, and then doze off. Okay. Well, before we start talking about the story of my channel, do I have anything I want to talk about first? Usually now, before I get to the full lecture, if there's anything on my mind, now's the time I say it. So, well, Report of the Week. Mr. Report of the Week, is there anything you're thinking about? Anything? Anything? Yeah, actually there is. It has absolutely nothing to do with my channel, or even any life lessons, really. It's just something to talk about. I was on this site, it's called AccuWeather, and you know, their headline was talking about the 2 hurricanes, of course, that are hitting, you know, poor Hawaii. You would think, oh wow, this island's in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Obviously, they get hurricanes, right? And surprisingly, you know, they don't get hurricanes any more frequently than, you know, say, you know, the northeast of the United States does. And it's the truth. They don't get hurricanes that often. And it might have been like 20 years since I last got one. And then here comes, you know, XII and Julio, I believe. I think those are the right names. You know what I'm talking about. They come barreling in on poor Hawaii. The big island, you know, they're really getting pummeled with the wind and also a foot of rain. You know, that's really something. And to think that, you know, surprisingly, you know just as well as I do that my memory isn't the best. But still, you know, I was just at Hawaii, and it's, of course, a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so you really don't forget about, you know, it too fast. So, I mean, I was reading the AccuWeather live updates, and they were saying about various locations on the Big Island, and various roads that have been, you know, closed or impassable, and I think, oh my gosh, I was there, you know, I know this place. And it's just funny to see, you know, a month ago if they said, so what do you think the likelihood is, you know, that you'll get hit by not 1 but 2 hurricanes right in a row? They'd say, oh, what are you, nuts? And then a month later, don't you think, there it is. So, you know. What are you going to do? Historic XII dumps heavy rain and brings strong winds to Hawaii. Strong winds, heavy rains, and power outages were the calling cards for Tropical Storm XII left behind in the Hawaiian Islands. No major injuries were reported, Hawaii Governor Neil Abercrombie said. The storm, once a hurricane before weakening at landfall early Friday, dumped more than 1 foot of rain across the Big Island of Hawaii and brought hurricane-force winds to the area. XII is the strongest tropical system to make landfall on the Big Island of Hawaii since reliable records began in 1950. And it is quite rare for a tropical storm to make landfall in Hawaii from the east. That said, it's clearly not impossible. There have been several close calls over the past couple of decades, namely Hurricane Jimmy in 2003, which brought gusts as high as 53 miles per hour to the southern portion of the Big Island, and Hurricane Flossie in 2007 passed about 100 miles to the south of Hawaii. More than 14.5 inches of rain fell at Kuleana National Wildlife Reserve, and over 13.89 inches fell in Glenwood. Less rain fell across Maui, with 5.3 inches falling at Pukuhia, like I actually said that right, and 2.34 inches at Pukalani. And the highest wind gust was 91 miles per hour. Thousands of residents lost electricity as a result of the storm. And that's something. I was just there a month ago, and I mean, clearly, I mean, number one, that's a lot of rain. I mean, a foot of rain. Could you imagine? Isn't there something that they say like an inch of rain is equivalent to so many inches of snow? I mean, could you imagine if that foot of rain was converted into snow? How much that would be? That'd be like 20 feet of snow. Well, I don't think that much, but it would certainly be a lot of snow. When I was just there, I mean, these people weren't expecting it, and there's gonna be damage. I don't think anyone died, thankfully, but a foot of rain—that's a lot. Oof, that is a lot. Sure, while our area has been thankfully spared of many hurricanes, I mean, there's some places in the world that get a hurricane almost, multiple times every single year. Of course, the residents, they're all used to it. It doesn't mean they actually, like getting pummeled. So I doubt anyone does, except for maybe some storm enthusiasts. But, we've gotten some storms. I mean, most recently, of course, Hurricane Floyd many years ago. But, also Hurricane Irene, that was in 2011. And, of course, Hurricane Sandy, the infamous, in 2012. And Hurricane Irene in 2013 was, 2013. Please don't take that as a literal fact, because it's not. In 2011, Hurricane Irene was, I remember that. I was up all night. Nowadays is my normal schedule. It was back then, but I was up all night. And, yeah. I remember that. I remember the wind gusts, and it was mostly actually a rain event. Hurricane Irene, I remember it was like sheets of rain, like in a severe thunderstorm. You know how the rain just comes down in sheets? Like it almost looks like it's white. Not quite, but, it's coming down really heavy and fast. It was like that with Hurricane Irene, but for, 10 hours straight. It was a big rain event. There was some wind, but it wasn't a lot. Hurricane Sandy, on the other hand, that was one of the few times that I was legitimately frightened by nature. Most of the time I just accept nature and weather for what it is. It's something unavoidable that you can't do anything about. It doesn't really bother me that much, but Hurricane Sandy was one of the few times I was legitimately concerned and very nervous about my own safety and the well-being of others during the storm. There wasn't any rain. There was almost no rain. I'd say only less than an inch in the entire storm. Less than an inch of rain. Almost nothing here. But the winds were a problem. We had sustained winds measured of about 75 miles per hour. And in this area it's devastating. It's detrimental. And, one of the things that actually I never told anyone is that I actually recorded the entire ordeal. Of course, I'm not like huddling or anything. I just, I filmed what was going on. And I have not uploaded the videos, of course. But I think I might in someday. It might be 2015, might be 2016. But one day I'll upload all the videos from Hurricane Sandy. I made a video outside showing the area before Hurricane Sandy, during the storm, and after, in the days following, and the carnage ensuing. I recorded, we didn't have TV or internet, but I recorded a radio address from President Obama talking about the storm, and drove around and showed the devastation. And I have tons of videos showing this stuff, that I'm never going to delete. And, maybe one day I'll upload them. Maybe I will. But, we lost power. We did. During the worst of the storm, which is, I'd say, from, probably about from 6:30 p.m. to, around 11 p.m. That was the worst. I'd say the real worst was probably from 6:30 p.m. to, maybe 8:30. That's where you had, the high winds, in like the 70 mile per hour range. And I know you're probably wondering, there's, of course, many trees in the area. Number one, was everyone all right? Yes. And number two, did you lose any trees, or was there any property damage? Thankfully, and you'd be surprised, we got a nice variety of trees, in our grounds, but we lost no trees. Yeah, surprisingly, we lost no trees, and there was almost no structural damage at all. Just some piece of siding fell off, but that was the worst. So we were really lucky and unscathed, and unfortunately, many of the neighbors lost trees, and had this one poor individual on a side street. This big oak tree fell right on his house, and thankfully it wasn't on a main room, but it clipped one of the side rooms and just tore right through it. And of course the house is fixed up, and of course they, I'm sure, were reimbursed by the insurance company, but still, But from 6:30 to 7, I actually just set up a tripod and just started filming. Just the I set it up on the same tripod that I normally record my videos from, but I turned it around so it's actually filming through the kitchen and through the house, and it was just interesting to hear that, number one, seeing the lights flickering, every minute or so, and it also sounded outside like there were, it was like at the ocean, of waves breaking, when in fact that was actually just the extreme force of the winds. I also took a video of outside. From what you could barely tell, the trees were almost bent over, horizontal, and there were actually flashes of light in the sky, and that was raw electricity from a set of either power lines or oh dear, what's the word? A transformer. I was going to say transmitter, but a transformer that had exploded, and there was this raw electricity, in the air, and something I'll probably remember for the rest of my life. I'm sure of that. And the power did go out, but surprisingly enough, it was not even out for, 12 hours. I mean, people had lost it for weeks and it wasn't even out for 12 hours. So we got it back. Though, sure, we might have been lucky, with, you barely lost any power. No damage to really your house or your property. Everyone's fine. What didn't you lose on? Well, we pretty much lost when it came to internet and television. We were among some of the last people to get that back. We went with 2 weeks without television or internet. So that's where we lost out, but got to relive the 90s, right? Or maybe the 80s. Well, actually the 40s, I guess. Maybe the 90s with no internet. But more like the 40s with neither. Anyways. We got 10 minutes, so we're just going to quickly talk about the VORW series, the birth of it. "3:42 a.m. So, these VORW shows, it was something I had wanted to make actually a lot earlier. And it was something that I had attempted first in early 2013, and then again in early 2014, and finally towards the end of early 2014, maybe mid-2014, around March. I finally put forward an attempt, and I went with it, and here we are now. I had wanted for a long time to be able to just make audio-only lectures. I had the recording equipment, I had the microphones, I had the ability to pretty much get, hopefully, clean audio. And, be able to record these shows. Well, finally, that became a reality in March. After 2 attempts, which I thought were unsatisfactory, once again, the first in early 2013, the second in early 2014, finally the third attempt, well, successful. Hopefully it's successful. At least we have the morale to keep doing shows. We have a format to the shows. And truthfully, we have one of the best audiences I've ever had. And I mean that with sincerity. And I thank all of you for being here each and every time. And with those 3 qualities, I don't see any end to these shows. But we started the first show out with, we started out with almost a synopsis of a Walking Dead episode. I figured, why not? Oh, and by the way, the news article I was reading from when I was talking about Hurricane Iselle, that was from AccuWeather.com. That was by Mark Lieberfinger, AccuWeather.com staff writer. You could read the article for yourself. It's on AccuWeather.com, titled Historic Iselle Dumps Heavy Rain, Brings Strong Winds to Hawaii. Anyways, but I decided to do it on a Walking Dead episode. And, I have no intentions on stopping these shows. So when The Walking Dead returns, I guarantee you every Monday, we'll be doing a VORW show exclusively talking about The Walking Dead. Or at least talking about it somewhat. Why? Well, The Walking Dead is a popular show, and it is literally, right now, the only show on television that pretty much I actually follow. Alright, there's a few other shows that I do watch. Right, I watch many shows on True TV. I watch Impractical Jokers. It's a very funny show. I watch Wipeout. There's another show that comes on right after Wipeout from 5 o'clock to 5:30 a.m. You'd figure at 5 a.m. wouldn't they just switch to infomercials? But no, they keep airing programming. It's Las Vegas Jailhouse. I watch that. You get to see all these drunk people and hookers. Well, see, that's who it is usually. It's either prostitutes or drunk people going to jail in Las Vegas, and it's about the whole process. But it's an interesting show. But The Walking Dead is the only show that I follow. Oh, what do you mean by follow? You follow those 2 shows, right? I do. I watch every episode. But The Walking Dead is the one show that, after the episode ends, number one, I eagerly talk about it. And it's also the show that I really, wait, each newest episode. The other 2 shows, it's like, number one, they just display them in any particular order, but The Walking Dead is a TV series, right? And I eagerly await each new episode. And, that's why it's really the one true show on TV that I follow. And if you're not familiar with what The Walking Dead is, it's pretty much a show about this one guy trying to survive in the world after a zombie outbreak, a zombie apocalypse, because most of humanity's probably dead. And, I don't know, I mean, people say different things about the show, I don't know. I thought Season 3 was, Season 4. But now, with, where they are in Terminus, I think this season's going to be a good one. I do. The trailer just came out, and it looks good. Then again, I always try to make everything look good, but I think it looks good. So, that being said, The Walking Dead. So I started at the first VORW show talking about The Walking Dead. Well, why'd you do that? Because I wanted to talk about something I was comfortable talking about, and that I could talk about for a minimum of 45 minutes. Or maybe a minimum of 30 minutes. I just didn't want to sit there like a blumbering idiot and just start babbling on and realize, oh great, this is going to be another failure, So I wanted to do something that I could actually work with. So we started out talking about The Walking Dead, and of course, that 2 weeks later the series ended. But it'll be back in October, and we'll start that up again. Alright, do not fear. For all of you Walking Dead fans, I hope you listen in. And for those people who have never heard of the show, I don't say watch it. Just check out the trailers online and see how you think about it. And just check out, an episode. Always start with season 1. No matter whenever you're watching any sort of series, you want to start watching it, always start from season 1 and work your way up. But anyways, just watch the trailers, see how you like it. That's all I ask. And you don't even have to do that. Anyways. But we started off the VORW shows really just talking about something that, I knew about, right? So the VORW shows, maybe I think I did. I bit off more than I could chew. What do you mean? Well, I bit off more than I could chew. I intended, originally, the VORW shows to be a daily thing. Literally, every single day I'd make a new show. Well, it's not too much different than what you're doing now. You're just doing a show every other day. By the way, I'm finally unbuttoning the suit jacket. Let's get the inner button out. It's a double-breasted button. There we go. And the suit is also an Italian suit, if you're wondering. Anyways. So, maybe I bit off more than I could chew. Maybe I didn't, but I originally started the VORW shows as a daily show. Something I would be doing every single day. And it started off fine, and the next show we're going to start discussing the VORW episodes and my shortwave series, and then some changes to the shows and to my schedule. But I don't know. I think I bit off more than I could chew. I intended doing shows, that ranged anywhere from a half hour to an hour long every single day. And I started off good. I had a lot of enthusiasm and vigor, but even after just a few weeks, I realized, this is hard work. And now it's seeming more like a job than just doing something for fun. And that's where things started going south, and then there's some negative feedback going on from many sides, and I made a few changes come in. In our next show, we'll discuss my infamous shortwave series and some changes that came to the VORW series after that, and probably the next episode after that, we're done. And we're done with this series. So, what do we discuss then? Anything. Maybe we won't need to discuss anything, I think I could just go on and make shows and just read fan mail and just talk about random things. I've done a few shows like that recently, and I don't think there's been any problems with that. We'll see how things are. We'll take it as it comes, right? Right now I feel like one of those popular TV shows where they give you just enough information to keep you hooked, right? Well, that's actually a terrible example. This stuff is nowhere near interesting, but you get the picture, right? I give you just an extremely tiny bit of information. All right, and next week, I'm just keeping this going as long as possible, Yeah, we don't have a problem with that. Right. Heck, it gives me something to fluently talk about. Well, I suppose that concludes today's VORW show. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, let your voice be heard. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or just want to send me a message, please feel free to do so via YouTube, via the PM system, the inbox system. Feel free to compose a message and send it to me, and I will gladly respond to it, as I do at the very beginning of each and every show. Remember, though, if you do wish for a personal reply to your message, please specify that you would like a personal reply in your message, and I'll work to my very best to reply to your message. However, understand that if conditions permit, the reply may not come immediately, but I worked my very best to get a reply to your message within at least several days. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Report of the Week, and this is VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. Thank you. Remember, always stay true to yourself, With that being said, take care and I'll see you later. Thank you. This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing off.